Hello guys, welcome back to the Forza Mentality. In today's video, just simply going to talk about Milan and their season and what I think they will need to do to possibly win the Scudetto. Now, Milan are just coming off of a loss in the Coppa Italia semi-final against Inter, which they lost that game 3-0. And straight away from that, Milan need to forget about that game. They need to forget about that game and move forward and focus on the rest of the season. They need to focus on these last 5 games and really dig in and dig deep. The thing that worries me about this type of situation is Inter are not going to be running with confidence. Milan this season have been very unlucky with some unjust referee calls, unfortunate events, but regardless of any of that, they got to move past it and they got to continue to find a way. But moving forward, Milan need to figure out this right winger issue. Salamakers ain't doing it, and neither is Junior Macias. It just hasn't been good enough from the two, and that is a position, honestly, even looking forward to next season, Milan need to figure out. At this point, to be honest with you, why not Samuel Castillejo? I know there's a lot of people that, also do not think he's good enough. I want him even out of the club, which that's probably what's going to be happening, by the, looking forward into next season. But I don't remember a time where Milan's right winger position was this bad, to be honest with you. I don't ever remember Samuel Castillejo playing as bad as Salamakers is right now. I don't ever remember Samuel Castillejo playing as bad as Junior Macias in that position. I don't even want to say it's necessarily that they're just bad players. I just don't think they're good enough. They're good enough to be in a Milan starting 11. If you look at the top 4 in Italy, do you see Salamakers in the starting 11 of Inter? Do you see Salamakers in the starting 11 of Napoli? Do you see him in the starting 11 of Juventus? He doesn't make that team. He's just not good enough. I mean, he works hard. He never gives up, which I always appreciate a player that works hard. That's what I loved about players like Patrick Cutrone. No matter what, this player was killing himself, working his ass off until the very end of the game. But in this moment, that's not what Milan need. Milan need a player that's going to provide something, that's going to create something. And Salamakers and Macias isn't really it at the moment. And maybe not even Samuel Castillejo, but at this point, Salamakers ain't doing good. Junior Macias ain't doing good. Why not Samuel Castillejo? And another thing I don't really understand as well, not even necessarily don't understand, but I don't understand why Milan haven't explored the idea that much of having Leao and Rebic on the same field. That's what Milan did in the Bologna game at halftime. They subbed out Junior Macias and they ended up putting in Rebic, and it wasn't too bad. And you would see Leao and Rebic occasionally switching sides every so often. But even I feel Rebic at this point playing as right winger or having him and Leao from time to time switch sides and do it like that would still be better than what Salamakers and what Junior Macias is doing. And I feel really I feel bad for Salamakers because, like I said, he does work hard. He does give it everything he's got, and it's sad sometimes to see where a player is working hard and it's just not paying off to him. I mean, a game that I could probably say where I probably felt the most sorry for him was the Genoa game. I mean, just nothing was going his way. He was making mistake after mistake. And then Junior Macias comes on and then he ends up scoring. And definitely it's not a moment where you feel great as a player. But formation-wise, I think Milan are fine. I don't think there's really any necessary reason why they would change formation at this point of the season or try to experiment. I think that would do more harm than anything. And just like I said in my last video, the Pioli slander has to end. It's incredible that he's gotten this team to where they have gotten. They're the fact that they're in first place and Milan are doing with the likes of Salamakers and Krunic, You gotta think about it too. Think of the amount of injuries Milan have had this season. They've had 50 plus injuries. They've been missing their most important players throughout most of the season. And still, they're in first place right now. Inter do have a game in hand, but right now, Pioli has them at first place. And then I'm seeing things like if Milan don't win a trophy this season, Pioli's got to go. Are you crazy? There's no way. There's no way. What Pioli has done to this team has almost been a miracle. It's almost been a miracle. Do I still think Milan still have a chance of winning the Scudetto? Yes, I do. I do, because Milan, time and time again, where people doubt Milan the most, they somehow always rise above it. They always somehow get a result or somehow get the victory. But most of all, I feel like Milan needs Zlatan in this moment. He's been dealing with a good number of injuries these last 2 seasons, and a lot of people will say, you know, he should stop now. This is his last season. And I'm starting to lean towards that way too. I kind of wanted one more season of Zlatan, just one more, just to, you know, enjoy that. But Milan can't rely on 40-year-old Zlatan anymore. But in these last 5 games, I feel like he's needed because of what he brings. For some reason, his presence on the field brings the best out of Milan. And I feel like in these last 5 games, Zlatan is just what Milan need to get through these last 5 games to get the results that they need. Milan's hoping, you know, they could get him back for the Lazio game. Him and Rebic trained individually this week, but I feel like Zlatan most of all is needed in these games. I think Milan are fine formation-wise. One of Milan's biggest issues as well, it's not necessarily defensively. Defensively, they've been fine, have you seen, except for the Inter result, I guess, because defensively, Milan did not do well that game. But before that, Milan won 6 or so games unbeaten, didn't get scored on, clean sheet. Their biggest issue was in the attack. It would be the most frustrating thing because Milan would do everything good up until the final third. Everything to get there, it was incredible, it was beautiful. And then that final pass, that final shot, they just couldn't get it right. They just haven't been able to get it right, and they need to figure that out. They need to get that sorted, because all those missed opportunities are coming back to bite them. Also, I don't know if this is just me. But what is with Milan players and not being able to keep their footing? Like, I don't understand why Milan is the only team or the only players that are like slipping and falling. The other team, I see them. They cut, they do a move, they change direction, they're defending. They keep their footing, they're fine. I see Leao do like a fake shot and he's like falling. He's like slipping. They get like a pass, it's a little bit behind them and they're just completely losing their feet and slipping forward. They're like tripping over themselves. Like, I don't know what is happening. Like, what's with the balance? What's with the footing of these players? Why do they keep, every single time I'm watching them play, they're constantly slipping and falling. It's like they have ice skates on. Lastly, do I still think Milan could win the Scudetto? Yes, I do. It's going to be tough. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last match day. It is. This weekend's going to be a big weekend for games because Milan's got Lazio and Inter's got Roma. And right now, the Scudetto's in Inter's hands. If Inter drop points, then it's back in Milan's hands. But Milan cannot afford any more slip-ups. No more draws, no more losses. Every game from this point needs to be a win. They're going to hope that Roma get the result against Inter, but at the same time, they need to get the result against Lazio in the remainder of these games. But we will see. I still think it's possible. I still think Milan could do it, but right now it's in Inter's hands. And right now they got to hope that Inter slip up again. But thank you guys for tuning in again, and always remember to keep that Forza mentality.